Hello everyone, my name is Corey. Today we're going to talk about what excites me the most in Batman Arkham Shadow. So the first thing that has me really excited for Batman Arkham Shadow in VR, of course, is the Traversal Combat system. What this means is that instead of you basically walking with the smooth locomotion movement or teleporting across the map or across a level, when fighting, specifically in combat, you are going to be punching and kicking and dodging and doing Batman things as you traverse across the level when fighting in combat. So they have this system in place which will be really exciting. It'll change up the way that you see VR from my understanding and from what it seems like. And I'm most excited about this combat system because we haven't really had anything like this in VR before, which really utilizes what VR's capabilities are and how to kind of make use of these systems, not only to help that traversal system to make, combat feel more fluid, but also play a little bit more in the role of Batman himself, in the way that he would actually approach combat, which is punching and kicking his way through enemies. So it's really exciting for me, and that's probably one of the top things that I'm excited for in Batman Arkham Shadow. One of the other big things that has me excited is the game inspiration that Batman Arkham Shadow has taken from games like Superhot and Beat Saber, which is a rhythmic, one of them's a rhythmic music game, and Superhot is, has those kind of slow-mo, enemy slowed down kind of time dilation sequences where things are just slowed down and you get to focus purely on the combat and what you're doing and have a little bit more of a strategical approach to things. But with that being said, Batman Arkham Shadow seems a lot more in the lines of Beat Saber with its rhythmic kind of combat system, which has you dancing around and using different elements and techniques to dictate how you approach combat. So there'll be arrows and things pointed at the enemies, and that's in the direction that you need to punch from. So it kind of dictates how you're punching, how you're moving, and it dictates the rhythm of the combat. So the punches, they need to be hit at a precise time, similar to Beat Saber, how you would hit the blocks at the musical kind of rhythm time. But that's going to be transferred to Batman Arkham Shadow with the combat system. So I'm going to be really excited to see how that works out. I really enjoy Beat Saber. I really enjoy games like Until You Fall. And I think Until You Fall has that kind of similar style to the combat with maybe the Beat Saber rhythmic approach removed. So it'll be interesting to see basically a game, it seems like Until You Fall in that sense, but having that rhythmic element to it. Anyway, that's really fun. I'm excited for that. Each level in Batman Arkham Shadow is going to have its own unique environment, own unique feel and level design. So this basically means that each level is going to bring something fresh and new to keep the game exciting and flowing forward as you progress in the story. And this is really important for me because I start to notice repetitions. I start to notice when textures are reused and I start seeing the same buildings or character models again and again and again. So while it seems like we're still going to have the same character models from, in the Batman game with the fights and, the enemies, it seems like a few will be repeated, with the masks and whatnot. But that's besides the point. The environments are all going to be unique, and a game that really had me thinking about this at first was Half-Life Alyx. Half-Life Alyx is, if you read the interviews there and kind of the development process with Half-Life Alyx, they did this exact same thing where each level is a completely unique level and you're not going to experience the same thing twice. And that's what keeps the game feeling fresh, alive, and it doesn't feel like a game anymore because you're constantly experiencing new things as you progress, which is like real life, right? You're not going to see the same textures, things like that. So anyway, that has me really excited alone. That kind of, approach to the development and the level design. I think that's going to be really fun. So again, in a recent Q&A, the developers have talked about these dungeons in a way which is kind of their, I guess, approach to their level designs or some type of, dungeon in a level. They mentioned it's kind of like a Zelda-like system. There's inspiration from that where you're in a big open area. It doesn't necessarily need to be a room, but a big open area that's kind of, blocked off with borders and whatnot, but a large enough area to explore. And in this large area, there might be areas that are blocked off that you can't access. And in order to access them, you have to kind of move around the areas that you can currently explore and solve puzzles and do different tasks and things like that. Maybe be sneaky and make your way through, or you could go in arms blazing and, punch your way through as Batman if you want, of course. But anyway, these types of level designs are going to be in Batman Arkham Shadow, of course, so it'll be fun to have that kind of element to it, and I'm excited to see kind of the different puzzles and things that they have set up for us, mainly, and honestly, the level design in general. I'm excited to see how their approach is. So they mentioned something called the Bull Iteration Development Method, and what this is basically they create the game and then they delete it and start over. So they do this process several times to basically get a full understanding of what they want to do, maybe reset themselves a bit so that they could, be a bit more innovative or have a different approach, kind of think outside of the box, so to speak. So what they have or had the development team do is basically build Batman Arkham Shadow several times and take the best of what they made each time and put it together. And that creates an experience that is obviously going to be a lot more polished. It's going to feel a lot more thought out. And for us, I think it's going to be better, right? Obviously if they keep innovating and they keep doing it, it's going to just get better and better and better. You have to stop at some point because, there's cost involved, but it's an interesting process that I honestly never really thought of as someone from the outside who's not a developer. So I wonder how many other companies are doing this anyway, but it'll be exciting to see the type of polish that I would expect to come out of something like this in Batman Arkham Shadow. So we'll see what kind of polish it has and what kind of game it is when it comes out. I'm super excited. So in the recent Q&A, the developers have said that it's going to be a story to make you cry. And they actually said here, part of the crew are like crying and being really emotionally impacted by what we are doing. So this was during their voice acting recording sessions, of course, in that studio. And apparently the story is going to be really emotional at some point. And this is going to be my first Batman game that I'm playing personally. So sorry for the Arkham fans out there. I have not played an Arkham game, but I'm excited to experience this story, especially in VR. Experiencing it firsthand. It being my first Arkham game, I'll be able to explore all of the mechanics in a different way, of course, in VR. But it'll be exciting nonetheless. And I'm honestly genuinely excited for the story now after hearing that it made some of their crew cry like that. So yeah, we'll see what's in store pretty soon. So lastly, do we get to drive the Batmobile? And the big answer is no. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to drive around in the Batmobile in Batman Arkham Shadow. It's going to be a first-person combat, fist fighting and kicking game, so to speak. And it's going to be an Arkham game. So most importantly, and I think that's kind of their main approach, is they want it to feel, as similar to the originals, or that are on flat screen as it can be. And they're trying to obviously make that happen in VR however they can. So it'll be exciting for me to play it first hand in VR, having not played a Batman Arkham game before. But if you have played an Arkham game before and you're excited for Batman Arkham in VR, what are you most excited for? I'm curious what's entailed for me, but for those who already know kind of an idea of the Arkham games, what are you excited for in VR? Let me know in the comments down below. If you all like this video, you could stay tuned, check out some other videos that I have. I make a lot of VR content here. Feel free to subscribe. If you like this video, go ahead and like it. I appreciate it. Obviously, it helps the algorithm and whatnot. You know how it is here. And I hope everyone has a good day. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.